Hi there guys, Sam here, and yeah, you join me again for another video in the Golf R. So as the title suggests, where do you kind of go from a Golf R? And what I mean by that is I've had sort of like a lot of comments and a lot of from you guys, my subscribers, or just general people commenting. It's kind of like, if you've got one, where could you potentially go? What could you potentially do in this kind of segment? And I'd like to just go over a few little points around that. For reference, we're in November, sort of mid-November now, 2018. So it's always quite an interesting time if you're looking to get a car towards the winter months. You can actually get some cheap deals, but obviously selling a car is always, it kind of balances itself out basically. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So if I take it from sort of my perspective, first of all, for reference, I love my Golf R. I've got absolutely no intention of getting rid of it or anything like that anytime soon. But I'll go through kind of the options that I'd potentially have if I was looking for a car in this kind of segment. And hopefully the same for you guys to kind of help you out if you're in the same sort of situation. So, I mean, for me, I've got a Mark 7 Golf R. So the first thing that I could potentially do is actually upgrade to another Golf R. And it's not actually the stupidest thing to do because, for example, mine's, its own spec. It's a 3-door, it's a manual, it's a pre-facelift. So potentially an upgrade could be a DSG, a Mark 7.5, maybe with stuff like dynamic chassis control, something else to try out. And the pros of that, it is a different experience. The car's fantastic anyway, so there's no real sort of need to get rid of it. So if you're enjoying it, keep it. And I think a lot of my subscribers are kind of happy with their car. I've so many positive things about the Golf R. Why kind of change? And it would be interesting to see what the ride is like with the DCC and obviously the auto gearbox. It makes it a little bit more relaxing to drive day to day, but also that sort of next level quick. I mean, probably easily a second quicker to 60 in reality in the real world than my manual. Now, I suppose the downsides to that, if you're thinking about that, first of all, you could have a facelift, so the upgrade wouldn't necessarily be that great in terms of what extra you're getting. The second thing, you're still fundamentally getting a Golf R, which, the whole package here, as I've said before, the standard package is really, really good, really comprehensive car. And, ultimately, the driving dynamics and bits like that don't really change. I know you get an upgraded infotainment system, bits like that, but it's a bit hard to justify. And also, it does come down to price as well. I think the cheapest facelift 7.5 Golf R, just with DSG, I think I saw one with about 20,000 miles on it on a 17 plate. It's about nearly sort of £27,000, which is still really, really, it was quite a lot of money, and that's not with DCC. I think with them you're still looking sort of near sort of £30,000 mark used. So it is quite expensive, quite hard to justify. I mean, for me, I'd be, sort of an extra £6,000-7,000 on top of what this car is, and for me, it doesn't really make any sense. But for someone else, maybe you might have sort of like an older Mark 7, you might have like a 2014 one. That could be a really big jump and something really exciting to do. But yeah, that's one option you can do. In this kind of segment as well, people say that depreciation on certain cars are really, really bad, and I've read things where they say the Golf R is appalling, and I really don't think it is. It's a really, really desirable car. For reference, when I was searching about sort of 18 months ago for a Golf R, the cheapest Golf R I could find, obviously a used one, was around sort of £18,000, and that's kind of the benchmark I was looking at beforehand. You look at today's market, 18 months on, you can't really get a Golf R for less than 17,000. So they really do hold well. Okay, you have that initial steep depreciation, but that's generally if you spec it really, really high. If you're going to spec a car to £45,000-50,000, you're going to lose money. Simple as that. And you got to be a little bit savvy and try and get that sweet spot and pick the kind of right options as well. But for reference, if you are looking for a Golf R, depreciation is really, really solid. Moving on, obviously I've spoken quite a bit about the Golf R, that's what I kind of know. You could go for something like a Focus RS. Obviously it's had plenty of engine issues if people haven't heard about that. You know, full engine replacement and head gasket replacements and things like that, which is not great. Obviously all under warranty and stuff like that, but you know, it's not a million miles come next year that a car like that will be out of warranty, and I wouldn't want a bill like that on a car which should be new. And obviously such a, you know, well sought after car. They hold their money really, really well. I think I've sort of checked the latest sort of prices as of kind of today, and you know, you can't really get one less than sort of £26,000. That's sort of like a 2016 plate. So really, really good residuals on that, and you know, for sort of a, you know, you can spend sort of anywhere above that. And they're obviously really exciting cars, certainly more focused and hardcore than this Golf R, but then that's kind of why I like it. It's my daily. And for other people, you know, you could go for that. That's where you could go from a Golf R. I think depending which Golf R you had, you're probably going to be spending more money to get it, and you have to sacrifice a bit of interior quality, you have to sacrifice a bit of ride comfort, sacrifice fuel economy, sacrifice quite a few things. But you know, if you like that more out there looks and more hardcore driving, if you're going to take it on track, it's certainly an option for you to go for. Sort of keeping on sort of like the four-wheel drive sort of high patch theme, the A45. So I test drove both the pre-facelift and the facelift when I was kind of looking for my car. The pre-facelift today, you can have sort of like a used one for actually around sort of £20,000, because they came out in 2013. It's kind of like the first car, and for that you get that fantastic engine, slightly less power, 355, which is fantastic. Obviously the same sort of automatic gearbox, there's no manual option, and that's quite, you know, if you find a well looked after one, which is difficult in this kind of these type of cars, that can be quite good. For me, when I tried the facelift model, which was after around 2016, that car became really, really appealing to me. It was certainly more comfortable. It had adaptive dampers and bits like that, and I preferred the styling. Actually had a little bit more power as well, and they're, you know, very low, 4 seconds to 60. And it did feel it did feel special, and it had that sort of fast pace to it, and I absolutely loved it. What actually put me off going for that is price. This was kind of top of my limit anyway to get this Golf R, and yeah, it's too much money. And if you want a facelift one, you're sort of looking around 30,000, but it's certainly an option to go for. Yeah, to sort of choose from. The other sort of options, you can go sort of Audi S3, but Audi S3s, again, they're generally more expensive than Golf Rs, yet the community, and generally from what I've read and what I know, the Golf R's a little bit more special to drive, which is credit to the Golf, credit to the engineers on the car to get the chassis right, than an S3. S3s are really desirable, again, really, really fast, really great cars, but I think if you're going to where to go from a Golf R, if you're sitting in one, I don't think an S3 is particularly the way to go. The only thing you can do is an RS3. Now, someone at work has got a pre-facelift. It's a 2016 RS3. And they sound unbelievable with that engine. Not so sure on the looks. I love the facelift. But again, pre-facelift one, I think he paid around 36,000 for a 16 plate, 20,000 miles. And if you want a facelift one, which looks really, really good, even more power, 400 brake. Again, talking about sort of like the Golf R400 and the R420, it's in that kind of league. You're not really going to get any change at all out of £40,000. It's a stonking amount of money for a car, particularly a hatchback. But that's another option you can go to. You know, and if your budget allows, again, they hold their money well, so it could be a possibility. You get that sound, and you get that interior quality. You might prefer it might suit you, but that's another option that you can go for if you want to stick in that sort of four-wheel drive segment, which is mainly what I'm talking about with a Golf R, moving from a Golf R. Other than that, you have sort of like front-wheel drive equivalents. You have the Honda Civic Type R, you know, a real special car. You have sort of like the Seat Leon Cupras. You could even go completely left field and go for like a GTI Club Sport S. Forget the back seats. Again, not really comparable. And they're all great cars, and you could try that front wheel drive thing. You could, you know, that is a big change, a big difference between all kind of the hyper hatches. Certainly in winter, I think four-wheel drive makes more sense, which is kind of why I've focused on those cars. So there's really some of the options you can go for at this time, kind of the prices around it. But yeah, to kind of go through where can you go from a Golf R, it's very, very, very difficult. It's such a capable car, and you know it can compare with anything. You know, it can compare with even like your 3 Series BMW in terms of that kind of faultless, do everything daily car. Yeah, it's faster. It's got that dynamic ability, which, you know, if you've got an SUV, you know they roll. They're so popular now. I mean, I can't believe, not going too far off topic, but you know, your Porsche Macans, GTSs, and you know, your GLC 43s, they're really, really expensive cars. They're no faster than, well, they're slower than a Golf R. And it's that kind of like, what are you actually getting? Lower centre of gravity here, better driving dynamics, and it's really, really capable. And if you know, again, check through my channel, I've done plenty of videos on the Golf R to really say where to go from a Golf R. Those are kind of the options I'd say, but realistically, it's very difficult to kind of move away. It'll be interesting to see when they bring out the next Golf R. Will it be late next year or the year after? But you know, it's certainly not coming any time soon in the coming months. So you've got a bit of time around it. But I understand from certain people, you know, lease deals or finance deals might be ending. Where do you go? And those are kind of your options. And there's nothing wrong with sort of sticking to your guns and sticking with a Golf R. It is that really, really cracking car, and I absolutely love it. And the miles I've done on it have been brilliant. And it's still that car which, you know, you can just go for a drive in. And I think all those other cars are exactly the same. They give you that sensation. You know, the Focus RS, A45, RS3, S3, all of them give you that sensation. Oh, I just want to go for a drive, go for a 10-minute blast, and they'll be absolutely brilliant. And that's the main part of the car. And they have that whole normal hatchback, normal practicality, do it all, comfortable, and they're just brilliant. So a lot of it can come down to price. And to be honest, price-wise, Golf R at the moment kind of trumps them. You know, they've had that hit of depreciation, but yeah, everyone talks about Golf R. They're highly popular cars. Certainly when I was looking, they disappeared before I'd even kind of get down there to test drive them. So I was very fortunate and lucky to have this car, really. But yeah, I hope that video helps. I try not to make it too long, you know, just over sort of 10-11 minutes. Hopefully it helps if you're kind of in a position of where do you go from a Golf R. But thanks very much for watching. Thanks for the comments. Thank you for the subscribers, and for the likes on the videos. You know, it means a lot, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. But yeah, please give this a like if you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe for more content on my Golf R. It's coming into interesting times with colder weather, wet weather, more wet weather I should say, and this car's an absolute blast to drive. So be sure to subscribe for more sort of ownership type content. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Cheers guys.